very easy to feel like a victim after a diagnosis like MS. And I get it. And if that's where you are right now, it is perfect. And know that it doesn't have to stay this way. It just is right now. And getting out of there is in your hands. But it's not wrong to be there in any way.
Welcome, everyone, to the second annual Symptom-Free MS Summit. I have the pleasure of introducing you to Talia. Talia is an autoimmune disease reversal coach, a transformational coach, and a mindset expert, kind of near to dear to my heart just a little bit. So she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, and through her personal healing journey, she studied the mind-body connection and how to use this mind-body connection to reverse disease. Isn't that amazing? As you think about this, the mind and body have a connection, and this mind-body connection can reverse disease, and Talia is living proof. And so with everything that she has done and where she's using it, she started to study this and how to use it to reverse symptoms, heal the body on a cellular level, and achieve the freedom and trust in the body that many people lose after an autoimmune disease diagnosis. So through her work, she teaches, Talia has managed to reverse the challenging symptoms she used to live with. And I'm going to lead off a list of symptoms right here. And let me know if you resonate with any one of these and feel them. So Talia was experiencing fatigue, vision issues, numbness, weakness in her hands and legs, pins and needle sensations throughout her entire body, brain fog, and she now, after going through this mind-body connection and truly healing her body from within, she can walk independently again. Since then, she has been teaching others through coaching workshops in her flagship program, the Mind to Body Method, where people learn her unique method and techniques on becoming in charge of their own mind and start using it consciously. I think that's extremely important. Conscious living. How many of us live unconsciously? And when they live consciously, they can heal their bodies, reverse symptoms, free themselves from pain, and create the life they truly want to be living right now. So Talia has made it her mission to support people on their healing journey. And she helped countless people globally in achieving these results. She believes that love is the foundation of healing. Whether it's an emotional healing or physical, it's available to everybody as long as they truly choose it. Talia, it is such a pleasure to have you with us again, and thank you for being a part of this beautiful summit.
Absolutely, my pleasure. Matt, I love being in your space regardless. Every time we're doing something together, every conversation brings something new to life. I'm honored to be in this place. Thank you.
Oh, I'm so honored to be, and you had said it right. When our energies are together, there is something. There's an electronic feel out there, and we are resonating this out to everybody. And we're giving you this possibility that you can heal your body. But I have a question for you, Talia. As you were talking about this, you're talking about the body. So is spirituality the science behind healing? Is this really the start of how we should begin healing our bodies as a human being?
Yes, period. Yes, period. And I'll add another yes, period.
I love this.
Forget about all the things that regularly you talk about, and I know we're probably going to get into those in a few minutes because there are so many ways to talk about them that different people relate in different times that open up possibilities that just because somebody heard it being said in a different way. But at this point in life, it's way beyond. I'm going to do this. The woo-woo conversations about spirituality.
Right.
At this point, it's been proven that if I learn to think, to live my life, to create new experiences,
Mhm.
it affects the genetic activity in my body. Done. Science, studies, proven, right? So now, what does it actually mean? Forget about the whole like big titles. If I am choosing to look at the diagnosis that I received, or maybe the severe symptoms before diagnosis that showed up in my body, from a place that is less human, I would say. Because when I say human, I mean like, okay, egoic, right? More egoic. The world is, just it's all about me. It's my body. It's how I feel. I'm against you. We're not one. We're disconnected. Who's better? Who's bigger? Who has more? All this kind of stuff.
Correct.
If I choose to allow myself to not see this diagnosis or what showed up in my body from that point of view, and I go into, for lack of a better word, let's just say spirituality right now. I give myself the opportunity to look at what just showed up for me in my lifetime, in my body, in my mind, as a correction route, right? Because I had a plan. I know you had a plan. All human beings have a plan, some plan. I had a big plan. I was like super like type A personality. I know what I'm doing every day. Go, go, go. Not a minute to like take a moment and reflect. And then all of a sudden, I got to a stop sign I did not choose that really stopped me.
Yeah.
And I chose to look at it as something bigger than you, bigger than what you had in mind, with a bigger plan than the one you had for yourself, asked you, kindly or not, to stop and look. The moment that you understand there is something bigger than me, it could be a part of me, because we're connected all the time, I believe. Whatever higher power the listeners are believing in, can be God, can be, the universe, just any higher power, no name, whatever. Understanding that it's not just me. I'm not here on my own. There's something that's holding me, correcting me, guiding me, leading me, loving me. I allow myself to actually see the possibility that what just happened didn't happen against me automatically by itself. It holds us in such a higher state that doesn't allow you to fall into the why me and victimhood. And I'm sorry if I'm triggering somebody by saying the word victimhood. I am well aware, and I spend a decent amount of time there myself. I am well aware that it's very easy to feel like a victim after a diagnosis like MS. And I get it. And if that's where you are right now, it is perfect. And know that it doesn't have to stay this way. It just is right now. And getting out of there is in your hands. But it's not wrong to be there in any way. But when I am there, the thoughts that I have are thoughts of being limited, lack of capability. It takes us into emotions, experiencing emotions that are very low in vibration, right? Sadness, maybe resenting people, resenting life. A lot of people fall into depression. And from that place, what kind of behaviors are possible? What kind of choices can we make? Trust me, I made the worst decisions in my life when I was in that state. I wasn't aware that was the reason at the time, but looking back, I have the ability to see. If I come from a place of, okay, God, universe, whoever, whatever you are that's loving me out there, if you gave me this to shift something, I was doing what I thought was right, what I thought was the best thing, better based on what I knew, based on what I've been taught, told, learned. I did my best. You're coming and telling me, hold on, I have to stop you. I have to do it hard because you're going too hard. Let me course correct you. Now, if I'm looking at it this way, can you imagine the level of peace that I can be experiencing while I'm going through these challenges that showed up in my life? Now, peace is the state, like wholeness, is the state that when I reach my body can function on its highest capacity, capabilities, right? It can do all those things that it was designed to do. We all know, I mean, I believe that everybody here know that the human body has an innate ability to heal itself. If it doesn't do it right now, there's something in its way, energetic, not energetic, something is missing. Of course, there's some details to go into there, but generally, it knows how. So if I allow myself to say, Talia, you're not alone. Yes, you got diagnosed. Yes, you can't walk right now. Yes, everything you hold in your left hand falls down and breaks. Yes, all of this is real. It's your reality. Fine. But what if this is just here for you to wear new lenses? For you to take a step back because you never stopped. Since you're like remembering yourself, you just go, go, go. And you aren't actually stopping and thinking, do you even know yourself? What is your purpose? What did you come to do here? Who do you choose to be? Not who were you like taught to be? The moment that you allow yourself to be like, okay, this is a self-exploration journey. I was given an opportunity right now that I would not have unless this came in. Can you imagine the completely opposite experiences you can have compared to the victimhood state?
Right.
And what we know is that when I'm experiencing high elevated emotions, that actually affects physically, biologically, my body's acting differently. Yeah. So without this level of spirituality, woo-ness, whatever, healing becomes very challenging, impossible at times, because automatically you think you are being in a way that is limiting you from seeing there's anything possible but what it is that you're experiencing right now in this moment, whether it's mentally or in your body. That was a lot.
Oh my God. Well, it's aligning with so much of this true belief is that we are much bigger than just this body. If we think of this body as a drop in the ocean and our full self is the ocean, then we're really only looking at it from this side. But because we can experience this with our five senses, we put it as our true reality. This is all that we are. It's hard to argue against this. But with what we think, when we attach to this higher power, when we think differently about ourselves, what you're saying is that then we can begin reversing it. And I love how you also said that we are here to experience. So this diagnosis comes into us in this moment to shake us up, to say, okay, you're not experiencing totally what we had planned to experience when you were here, but you know what? You can't make a mistake. So you have a choice in this moment to say, okay, who am I? And so what you're really doing is taking a step towards this exploration. But Talia, what gets in the way?
Oh, so many things get in the way. I think, especially today, because of not only, but it just got worse, I would say, because of the level of our how far people are willing to go to share the good stuff in their lives with the ability to hide what they don't want people to know. Approval is something that people always wanted. Yeah. Success is something that, in a way, brings a sense of safety. Safety is something that people always seek. This became achieving those two with the ability to see what's out there, what other people have, became such a big stressor that is constantly going on in the background that tells us we have to go a certain way and allows us to stop and forget what actually could be meaningful in the moment. So if I'm constantly focusing on how do I feel up needs that come fear in my ego, automatically my body falls into stress. When your body constantly operates in stress response, it becomes chronic stress in the body.
Mm-hmm.
It has to start giving up on other jobs.
Yeah.
And diseases start, or symptoms or whatever, starting showing up. So like when I totally forgot what you asked, by the way, but this is a really good topic to get to. So
I love our conversations. Yes, roll it.
By the way, Matt and I are talking every now and then, and these are our conversations. Regardless, this is just being recorded this time.
We're sharing it with the world. Yes.
So when I constantly look outside of me, what do I have? What do I not? Comparing myself, what are they going to think about me?
Mm-hmm.
The stress in my body, well, the stress in my mind, and then going directly into my body because connected, is inevitable. And from that place, that could be a course correction too. For many of us, that's actually it, because mainly the word. So the spirituality part could be more challenging for people that are starting from zero, from like super 100% victim mentality. But I always bring it in when I work with people because I know this is the exit ticket. Yes. But I don't necessarily start with it because I know that can make people feel like, oh, the gap is too big. I don't know how to close it.
Yes.
So we work a lot with the mind too. And when you work on the mind, the change in your body is inevitable. Mm-hmm. The more you keep believing matter affects matter, matter is the only thing that can affect matter. My body is physical. I can feel it. I can see it. I can smell it. I have to take this pill that I can see, smell, feel. And if I don't put something that's so completely physical in my body, nothing going to affect my body. Mm-hmm. Not true. Guys, come on. It's just time to believe in that. If you don't believe in that, go look for the science. I think we're sharing something here, right? At the end of that, Matt and I are going to share a masterclass that I did. That I'm sharing those pieces of science. Go find the truth. When you find the truth, you can't not believe in it. You can't look at black and say, I believe this is white. It's black. It's in front of you. Your eyes are seeing. Same thing. There's so much that proves that you can heal. The moment that you actually believe in that, by itself, boom, you can feel so much more peace in your body.
Right.
That sense of peace will open up possibilities.
So what you're talking about is a remembering. We are remembering this full essence of who we are. We just made the choice to forget it when we came here. And so now through this process, through this dis-ease that's in our body, we are remembering. And as we remember, we will align to our true essence, which is love. And with that love aspect is healing. This is where our body starts to feel a little bit better, or a symptom. And then we're reminded when we step back into our old space of stress, we get reminded into that. So do you believe that one of these challenges is that we stay with the familiar, we stay with the old pattern, with this old way of being, because that's safe? That's perceived.
That's part of it. That's part of it. Also because it's a really hard experience. It could be a really hard experience for people when you're in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s to feel like, I was wrong my whole life. I was wrong for the way I had it. He like to be right. How many arguments do you remember seeing people like just, they don't even care about the topic anymore. They just want to be the one winning the conversation, winning the debate, the argument, whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's a safety part. There is being right about what I've been taught and the way I chose to live my life as. Right. And it's my subconscious running me. That's a huge part we have to bring to the conversation, right? Whether it's from traumas, from all the stuff that you learned and lived as their facts and right. All right. Of this, unless you're choosing and willing and are okay with diving in, is going to keep running you. And unless you work on shifting the programming underneath, the results are going to stay the same. So our self-sabotaging behaviors come from there too. Many of our listeners, I'm sure, have gone on different healing endeavors. I would say try different diets, different protocols, different meditations, maybe different things. But almost every time it ends up the same way. I'm starting, but then I don't continue because there's always a reason. But what is the bottom line? The bottom line, you stopped. We self-sabotage. Yes, we make it sound good because we want to feel good about ourselves. That's a human thing to do. I do it in different ways. We all do.
Yeah.
And if you're not aware of the way you're doing it, you're limiting yourself from seeing the truth. The truth will set you free. Mm-hmm. So working with subconscious, understanding what is my fear bringing into this space. The fear is always going to be there. Again, we're human. Matt has his own fears. I have my own fears. We all do. We will have until whatever happens in the next round. But what do you do when your fear shows up? Are you letting it stop you?
Yeah.
That's the moment that defines those who are going to finish on the other side to those who are just going to stay where they're at, even on the healing journey. I mean, it's not just the fear of like, now MS showed up, now what? Through the healing journey, the more open you are, you're like, okay, I'm going for this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to find a way. That's just step one. Now that you're actually open, wholeheartedly, you're willing to see what's there.
Yeah.
That's the part that we actually really start. How should I say it? We get to be willing.
We allow it
to be okay with our less pretty parts in order to keep going to the other side and not let the approval or the need to look good in front of yourself or other people stop you from the freedom that's available on the other side.
I think you're absolutely spot on. So I want to challenge your thought a little bit in regards to this. What if there was no right or wrong? What if everything that is ever done is just a teacher? It's just us to be able to determine, is this in alignment with where I am going or am I out of alignment? And looking at this from this aspect, am I in fear? Or am I in love right now? Am I loving myself, my body, my essence, even if we are putting ourselves out to that fringe edge, trying something that is safe for us, but we're looking at it and we approach it with love. Okay, I love that if this doesn't work, man, I found a way that doesn't work for me. And if I put myself out there, then there is no right or wrong, there just is. I take the pressure off of me, that egoic pressure that you talked about at the beginning.
Yeah. I think I know that you started with what if, but I think that's exactly the truth. There isn't right and wrong. There is what I make a neutral moment be. But I think that also staying for a minute or two with the right and wrong is a very powerful teaching moment. The reason that it's that is because your right and wrongs are reflecting to you. They're reflecting to you the way you have been living until now, the box you live, feel, act, behave, everything in. And healing often, like if this mind and this way of living and this way of thinking created a mess, there has to be a shift from what I am now, outside of the box I've been living in,
right,
to live without mess. Do you agree?
Oh, 100%, because once we reverse it, it no longer can exist within the body.
Yes. So the rights and the wrongs that exist in this box that I've been living in get to be identified. I have to become aware of them so that I can choose to not live by them anymore. What used to be right can be now wrong, and vice versa, right? But unless I become aware of them, and I'm okay with them, okay with having it wrong until now, understanding that this is just a journey. We don't have to come from judgment and say, this is, you were wrong for being wrong your whole life. Like we could take it there. We could find ways to make ourselves wrong all the time. But what if I'm okay with just being wrong? What if I reframe it and say, whoa, every time I am wrong for something, it means I allowed myself to learn something new, and it means that I'm growing and healing. Wouldn't you want to be wrong? I would want to be wrong every day.
Okay, so if you look at it with that lens, that really with it is you're really coming back to that aspect of the teacher, being like looking at the lens, being like, okay, I was wrong about this. But instead of leading that, oh, I was wrong, shame, blame, victimhood, guilt, like all of that, and allowing it to walk down that road, which pushes that specific energy and vibration, you're talking about what if you looked at it as, all right, I was wrong about that. Now what? Up until now, I thought that. Now I don't think that anymore.
That being okay with whatever. Understand that now, this very moment, right now, is the only thing that matters. What happened, happened. You like it, you don't like it. You're gonna beat yourself up for it. You're gonna feel like terrible after that. It's not gonna matter for the past. It does matter for now because you're bringing it to the now. Now you're ruining this moment that could be a moment of happiness, a joy, serenity, of peace, of wholeness. But no, now it's like a negative moment because I beat myself up for the past. So what if now is the only thing? There is no, like, you couldn't have it wrong before. You were never wrong because that wrongness brought you to this lesson. What if this lesson is what's meant to you, for you in this lifetime? And you would not get here unless you made this mistake.
I love how you put that under quotes, the mistake. But that mistake led you to this moment right now, because in the infinitesimal now, there is no time. Everything's happening now. But right now, you are experiencing your life beautifully into this moment. So as you're talking about this, you need my wheels turning when you're thinking about this aspect that we are much bigger than who we are. You're basically saying that the body doesn't want to be in a diseased state. But this diseased state is leading us to our next evolution.
Yes, yes. As you're speaking, you know what came to mind? One of the most common symptoms that different people with multiple sclerosis or that are currently living with multiple sclerosis are having is numbness and tingling, right? Even though the huge variety of symptoms, this is one that shows up almost for every person in some way.
Right.
Numbness, think about it. It's like sleeping, right?
Yeah.
If my body presenting to me something, whatever that already exists within me, and this is just a course correction, like we said. It's showing me what's next for me. It's guiding me somewhere that I couldn't be without this.
Right.
What does numbness say? What does it come to teach us? You're living your life while being asleep. Your eyes are closed. You're not looking outside of you. Where are you sleeping? I'm talking to all of you. Where are you living your life, ignoring, being blind, covering, sleeping? What are you not willing to see yet? The answers are usually right in front of us. When I started realizing all of this, by the way, I started looking back at some point and I realized that the lessons that are there for me to learn have been coming my way for many, many years. I was living so differently at the time. I wasn't looking. I was like, no, that doesn't fit in my route. That doesn't fit in my plan. This has to go. Don't talk to me. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong constantly. And Matt stopped me and made me look. So I believe that if you choose right now, you can make this choice right now. Choose to look at reality for what it really is, to view life without a filter, without the filter that you've been using up until now. You may notice and hear messages, lessons, invitations that can change your life forever. And don't be Don't make yourself wrong when you look back and see like, oh, it showed up. I should have known better because now I wouldn't have this disability or this something.
Right.
It's all designed in a way that you're ready to carry, and know that, again, science proved this. So don't argue it because it was proven. Tomorrow right. can be completely different than today. If you bring today to tomorrow, that's a different situation. Mm-hmm. But tomorrow can be completely different experience in your body than the one you're having today, if you give yourself the chance.
I love how you said that. If you give yourself the chance. So in this essence, we all have this power.
Yes, I believe so. Yes.
That you are in this unbelievable ability if you give yourself the chance to open up to something new, to open up to a new awareness that potentially you may not have been seen before because you're in that egoic nature of just what I'm going to call the human life. I got to do this. I got to be this. I got to have this. I've got to experience this. I've got to do. But by taking a step back and experiencing this moment right now and surrendering to it and allowing this to come to us, is this the way that we walk through into, and whether you call it a spiritual journey, whether, I don't care, a healing journey, I don't care what journey you call it, but it's really breaking the habit, like Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about, of breaking the habit of being yourself.
Yes. Yes. And know that it's okay that it has not been easy. Because the habit of being yourself is the strongest habit. You've been creating this since before you remember yourself.
Right.
So, like, get support if you're committed. If this is another space to be like, let me try another thing so I can prove to everybody that healing is not possible and I can stay where I am, it's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. But just, I don't know, look into it.
May not be ready. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. But like I'm seeing, okay, so you probably are familiar with that, Matt. Most people are going to the obvious or what you can find on Google when it comes to healing, mm-hmm. right? They go to diet, right. They go to supplements, they go to, I don't know, basic, yeah. And when people come to me, it's usually after they tried so many things already that didn't work. And it's almost like, okay, this doesn't make so much sense, but it's my like the last resort, so let me try type of thing, right? Because we don't think about what we're being taught. I get it. I was not going directly there either at the beginning. And, you know, in my practice, you know that, like, you have the same experiences, like people that couldn't walk for years or sometimes decades starting to walk. People that couldn't see, lost their vision, gained their vision back. Body, like sensations, whatever, depression, anxiety, all of those things are going away when you do the right work. But here is the thing. What Matt just said, what we talked about can be very beautiful, but challenging to just say, okay, I'm a whole new person today. I'm just going to think differently, because then you try and then life also happens and then you go back and you're like, but I can't do this. Yeah. Follow something. Follow, whether you're buying a book, doing it on your own with a book, a little harder, but it's better than nothing. Or joining a system that's been working. Allow yourself to do that, because sometimes, like something that I like to do, we work on recognizing what's been blocking, right? If I'm starting to remove blocks, what do I have now? There is space for new stuff. Besides the fact that we're like working on perception, learning to think differently, learning to generate, you know, different emotions in the body. But if you don't start becoming aware of what keeps you stuck where you're at, there's almost no room for the new you to take place. Make sense?
Oh, beautiful sense. Because if we stay right where we're at, I love how you said there's no room for the new you to enter in to that moment. If we allow the thoughts of our past to be predominant within there, the new you is kind of like waiting on the side, being like, yeah, I got no seat on that bus. So I can't come in and I can't do my work. I can't sit in there. But this is you. This is the full essence of who you are. And if we keep it at bay and we keep it at arm's length and we keep blocking it from coming into us, we're not going to see the next teacher, the next piece that enters in, or because we're not allowing it to be fully within us. So what you're saying is, are we making a seat on the bus for the new you? Are we giving the new you a space within you to grow and to expand and to experience? And part of this is in the essence of our body healing itself.
Yeah. And that can only happen successfully when you choose to consciously step into love. Because there's just, like I said earlier, I think I talked about it, there's so much room to make ourselves wrong for the
Yeah.
way we had it.
Right.
It's just a terrible trap to fall into. When you commit to come from love, see yourself through love, experience whatever is showing up through love, there are no mistakes. You can't go wrong. You can't go wrong. Every day is going to be a step, another step that takes you farther and higher. And the experiences that you'll create for yourself are going to prove it. You're not going to need people to tell you words. What you will receive as a confirmation will speak louder than all of this. So allow yourself, give yourself the chance.
Talia, this has been such a beautiful conversation. I love every conversation I have with you. And I want to thank you so much for being a part of this amazing summit. Do you want to tell everybody about your free gift?
Yes. It's what I want them to listen to what I talked about earlier. So let's share the masterclass. It takes about an hour, so prepare about 60 minutes. I'm sharing some facts that will allow the change that you want to start having in your life to take place because, again, a lot of people have resistance to connecting spirituality and the body and physicality, or like spirituality and science. Yes. But in that masterclass, I'm showing you the proof. I'm showing you the facts. Your mind cannot argue facts. So allow yourself to go and learn this. I'm also talking a little bit about the cycle of how our trauma, sharing a personal story there. That's been one of the most difficult things in my life. But I know it's very relatable. And I felt like when I created it, I felt like a lot of people went through something similar in some way. So I want you to start seeing how our experiences in life could lead us here, and listen from a place that understands that if something created this, something can end this.
I love how you said that. So thank you so much. You are such a beautiful soul, Talia. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you so much, Matt, and everybody listening to us. You're bigger than what you think. You're more beautiful, more powerful, and more capable than what you were led to believe. So allow yourself to see this and keep going from there. You'll see what you can create is way bigger than what you thought. You've got this. And I love you.
Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.